So I'm going through photos and family and photos of mine, and you hear the foul and evil air directly above me, and they've been above me since I turned my phone on. It only takes seconds, literally, for a jet or their aircraft to pass above me. They're huge and they move very, very quickly. But they'll get above me and hover all day, every day, trying to block all my communications. Not trying, successfully blocking all my communications with federal agencies about their criminal activity, deleting records from our devices, crashing our servers, our computers, our tablets, our phones, to where the devices no longer function, to erase or make inaccessible the records and data that we've been recording on their behavior, as well as deleting a lot of the evidence, including crashing surveillance cameras and systems and things along that line. There is no form of legitimate surveillance or observation or anything that would involve destroying people's personal equipment. Never mind the fact that it's against the U.S. Constitution for U.S. military to engage U.S. citizens on U.S. soil. Under no circumstances is that permissible in alignment with our U.S. Constitution. However, let's set that aside for a moment. Let's say I'm some major criminal, which I've never been in trouble for anything in my life. I have never even had a parking ticket. But let's just, for argument's sake, say I'm this horrible creature, major criminal. If I was, I still have human rights, civil rights, rights to privacy, constitutional rights. My mom was a DA, and I can't tell you how many court cases, even when the person admitted to the crime, had to be thrown out of court because the evidence was collected illegally. There are no evidence that they can call themselves collecting by putting illegal surveillance around my property. At night, my cameras pick up all kinds of other cameras and infrared beams and signals and things that should not be here. I am 660 feet in the middle of my property, which is 30 acres. No signals from anywhere outside of my property would reach my property. These signals are on the property, which means they had to first trespass to place these illegal devices, etc., onto my property to surveil anything. Break into the buildings, break into our living quarters and places for what? If I was the worst criminal on the face of the earth, it would still be illegal. And then when you involve, for any law enforcement agency, they would have to have warrants. And they would have to provide me with said warrants. But even if that was all the case, it's still U.S. military may not ever, according to the U.S. Constitution, engage U.S. citizens on U.S. soil. We have an entire alphabet of agencies, trust me, because I have recently, with dealing with all this foolishness that's going on here in Fallon, Nevada, have had to speak to and meet and send letters to and file complaint with agencies I never even imagined existed. So, imagine. What they're doing is up to no good. A lot of it is racially motivated because from the day I arrived in this town, I had military personnel calling me the N-word and all kinds of stuff. I just walking by them in stores, public places like Walmart and stuff, minding my own business shopping, and in full uniform. I could tell you some stories of the things that I've witnessed that is the absolute utmost appalling behavior you can imagine U.S. military doing. Behavior unbefitting an officer, a serviceman. There are vows and oaths that they take that they have violated every way humanly possible. Literally, the Fallon Naval Air Station is trying to set a world's record for the number of felonies one agency or one group of people can commit. And the sad thing is, my family is 6 generations military, primarily Army. We also have Special Forces, Airborne, and a couple of Marines in there. But for the most part, we're Army. So many members of my family, I mean massive numbers, not a small amount. The majority, or at least a good 50% of my family have served. And for one, I had someone in the Navy say to me, if it's not Navy, it's not real military. Excuse you? All of the U.S. Armed Forces are supposed to be working together. And that arrogant attitude, wow. I don't know who these guys think they are, but if you notice in records, they have the biggest record for violation of laws than any other military branch. Disrespecting women. They wouldn't be pulling this mess if I wasn't a female. Just, if you compare the different branches, the Navy are the ones that are always making headline news for doing some jackass nonsense over all the other branches. I wonder why. But that aside, they are a part of a racist hate group, which is domestic terrorism. They're using military equipment, military access to commit crimes, cyber crimes. We've been being identity thefted. Our businesses have been being identity thefted. Fake emails and letters and stuff have been going out. Fake financial transactions. What the hell? Are they trying to set us up for something to make it look like we're doing something that we're not doing? Well, they can't, because I monitor everything until all my systems were down. And the minute I see anything that's not right, I've been reporting it to federal agencies. So I don't know what these guys call themselves doing, but it's criminal activity being hidden behind the protection of the U.S. military. There's a crime ring literally in our military. What the hell? Now, the bad part of this is, again, my family's military. I've been raised my whole life. The people I love the most and who respected the most in my life adorned U.S. military uniforms. The last thing I would ever do would be speak against our military, especially with all the unrest that's going on in the world around us. However, these young men who are behaving like, treating our military like it's a fraternity, that are committing war crimes against U.S. citizens. I've been dealing with psychological warfare, biological warfare, as well as technological warfare from these guys. And they physically have been even coming on my property, destroying things, ransacking the place. Not just them, along with some of the locals they were in cahoots with, but the point is, they are a danger. One bad apple spoils a whole bunch, for one. If others in the military start emulating and condoning their behavior, we have a very big problem. These rogue young men who think they can do whatever they want with no consequences to their actions while they hide behind our military puts us all in danger. They are not disciplined. Their moral compass is definitely found lacking, so we can't trust them. They're out for their own interests, which puts us all in danger. And they make our entire military look bad. They are just not just a disgrace to the hardworking, ethical members of the U.S. Navy, but they are also a disgrace to